the recognized symbol of excellence in collecting podcasts.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Mighty Champions Action Figure Radio. This is the show where we talk about action figures, collectibles, toys, vintage, modern, all that sort of thing. My name is John Sargent.
My name is Christian McGann.
Thank you very much for joining us and making us a part of your day. We very much appreciate it. You can subscribe to the show wherever you're hearing the sound of our voice, and you can also leave us a review. It would be really, really appreciated. It's the only way that the show can grow. It's the only way that we're going to find new ears. So that would also be very much appreciated. On Apple, you just scroll to the bottom and you'll see the little review spot. And if you're on Spotify, just hit the three dots and that'll bring up your options there. You can follow the show on Instagram at Mighty Champions. That's where all the visuals are. So we're going to post pictures of our trip to the New Braunfels Retromania. We're posting the new figures that we pick up. We're posting pictures of our collections. You could share your pickups and your collection with us at Mighty Champions on Instagram. Not so much admin to get to today because we just hit the New Braunfels, the city of New Braunfels, and went to Retromania. So that pretty much covers the admin side of things. Christian, other than toy hunting, what have you been up to? Hitting some baseballs. If you guys hear some weird noises in the background, my dog is in the room.
I'm chewing on a bone.
My dog is in the room and she refuses to let go of her bone.
Yeah, I have been hitting baseballs, despite not having a vehicle at the moment. The saga continues that I'm just a walking, traveling man. So if you see me on the side of the street with a staff and a sword...
a hobo stick with a bag on the end of it?
Yeah, so that's me, and I'm on a journey of a lifetime. So, but yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Just hitting the baseballs. Training hard in the gym. This is like, I think, the off season where it's like everything is clicking. So I feel very, very excited. Like, I think that I am witnessing in real time, like, what I'm trying to accomplish actually happen. Like the
Moodle? What's a moodle?
It is so in my country, the needle move forward. And yeah, man. And I think that to me is like, holy crap, it's working. And it turns out that when you spend thousands of hours into something to try to get better at it, or like pour all of your time into this thing to learn about and then just like apply those things, it somehow like begins to work. So for anybody out there who wants to, still the new year, if you got any goals in mind, don't be afraid. Take the risk. Yeah. Learn all you can. Be excited about it. So,
like Nike says, just do it.
Just do it, like literally, man. So that's pretty much on my end. How about you?
Man, I had a monster week. I've just had like an incredibly, up until still right now, every word is continuing on. I have had a just back to back week where I haven't really had a moment to breathe.
Yeah.
It's all been good stuff, you know what I mean? Work is like soaring, and then I've taken on a couple of clients where I'm like not even a personal trainer anymore, and somehow I now have a clientele. And then martial arts, it was testing week. So I spent a lot of my week trying to prepare for that in the sense of like studying the material and getting my cardio up. But I got my yellow belt.
There you go.
I tested, I passed, I got real beat up doing it, like bloody nose, bruises and scratches all over me, lots of sparring rounds. Wouldn't trade it for anything. It was such a blast. Like just hanging out with the fellas, and it's playing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's real hard playing, but like it's just playing, and it's like a good time. Like, I don't know. There's been something wrong in my brain since I was born where getting punched in the face is a fun activity for me. So
masochist.
I don't know. It's just a good time, and like the achievement of getting my yellow belt was like huge.
Yeah. I know there's just something about like physical effort, the exertion of physical effort, and then just like something happening on the other end, like winning something because of it. it's like, man, there's like not a greater feeling than that.
I'm all about the chase. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in life, I'm about the chase. This podcast is essentially about the chase.
It's
you
about
know what
the
I mean?
chase, for sure.
With toys and with action figures and collectibles, I like to catch also.
Yeah.
And I like I'll just walk into this room and just look around and just be happy, and I'll even like jokingly just be like, hi, to my stuff. But the chase is preferable to the catch in life in general. I went through a real, I don't know what the right term is, not imposter syndrome, but I went through like a real mental, I had a real weird thing happen when I bought the gym. I spent 8 years or 9 years with the goal of having my own gym. And then when I got it, I was like depressed because I was like, I don't know. It wasn't like, it was the chase. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, well, now there's no chase.
Right.
So what's the chase? You know what I mean? I've gotten over that since and figured it out. But like, that's a thing that happens. Like once you reach the goal, you're left with a void.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like pursuing a belt is cool because there's another belt.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's another belt, and then there's another belt. And it will continuously get harder and harder and harder. Like, it was explained to me that it's like a diagonal path so far from like white belt to yellow belt. Well, that path is going to turn vertically straight up.
Yeah.
And it's just going to like be a total vertical like challenge going forward. And I was like, great.
Yeah. But that's perfect. And like to touch on what you said about the gym thing, it's like, you know, there was a point last year, and I've referred to last year as like for myself and to people that I'll talk about, which is like, it is like last year was the year that I turned pro at everything that I was doing, and like metaphorical pro, right? But like, it was like the ability to just do all the things that I set out to do and do them weekly, do them daily. And they were all living proof of like a vision. And, you know, you're like, oh, well, like I conquered the gym. Or like you bought the gym and like you've had it now for almost 3 years?
Going into the fourth year.
Yeah.
Like
so
into the fourth year.
Yeah, and it's like, so yeah, it's like, okay, well, what's next? But I think it's funny because when I was like, I had to stop and think at some point last year because I was like feeling tired or feeling a little burnt out or both or whatever, and I was like, man, it's kind of funny because like this isn't what I really expected. Like, a life of doing all this stuff that I want to do. Like, I didn't really expect it to be like this. Like, I expected it to be like really easy or not really easy, but I felt like there was always going to be this chronic level of like happiness and joy because I finally reached the top of the mountain. And then it was like, well, every time that I imagined this goal like being realized, it was essentially a fantasy. And in fantasy, you're not going to picture yourself like, you're not going to picture yourself tired. You're not going to picture yourself like void of energy. You're not going to picture yourself discouraged like that. And I'm like, this is me living that life, but it's the reality of it, you know?
Yeah, you're not going to picture yourself paying sales tax. You're not going to picture yourself like, putting into workman's comp and buying paper products and like that. Those things were like, I knew they were a part of it, but it's not part of the fantasy.
Yeah, you're not romanticizing that.
Yeah, you don't romanticize that stuff.
It's like, if anything, but a lot of business owners will say, it's like, dude, 90% of like that is just like the business is that type of stuff. It's like, oh, hey, John, you know, like we work at the same gym. I'm a trainer at John's gym, but it's like, you know, oh, dude, like the handle for the leg curl is like coming off. It's like, oh, what the heck? Like, where do I even get that?
Yeah,
you know?
it's like a hour by hour of like minor things at all times.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, like got my yellow belt, and that is just like reaffirmed to me like how much I love the chase of this.
Yeah.
Even though it's like probably. It's the most physically demanding thing that I've ever done because of my age, right? Well, like I was in professional wrestling when I was a teenager, like teens in early 20s.
Yeah.
You're made out of rubber at that time. Like I couldn't be harmed. I was bulletproof. If I was to try to do that now, that would be the hardest thing. But this is the hardest thing because I'm 42.
Yeah.
Right? So like this is really, really hard, but like I love it.
Yeah, and dude, like I know it's true, right? Like there's no way to deny like the physiological like process of aging, but I refuse to believe that like, or to use age and like the physical limitations of age as like a barrier of entry for something. You know, like I'm 33. I have friends that are just like, oh, my back is starting to hurt. And then it's like, oh God, I'm getting so old. I'm like, or is it maybe the fact that you sleep 4 hours a night, you eat from a gas station chronically, you don't lift weights? Like, is it those things that are maybe driving the back pain? Because you know what, baby? I feel great.
Your wallet is 6 inches thick and
you're
you're
sitting on it. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I recognize that is a thing, but I think people will always use age as a boogeyman, and it's like...
It like is and it isn't, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got to just be realistic.
Yeah.
Is it a mental barrier or is it a physical barrier, right? Like, I was talking to a guy in class who just started. He actually hasn't even started. He's on a trial. And he's really, really, really struggling with, like, his hips and his mobility, and it's, like, the pain and stuff. And I was like, dude, I went through the exact same thing. It took me probably 2 months of like rigorous stretching and foam rolling and drills. And I'm like, if I can get through that, you're 15 years younger than me. You can get through that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, is it an age thing? You know what I mean? Like, it is harder for me than it would, but it's not a barrier.
It's not a barrier. And it's like, it might be like your recovery is like slightly worse, or like maybe, you know, you're more achy or whatever, but it's like, but what also would happen if you just decided to check every box? And then it's like,
I'm married to the game, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I work on my recovery every day. My nutrition is on point.
Yeah.
Electrolytes, creatine, like protein's high, monitoring my carbs, monitoring my sleep, monitoring my hydration.
Yeah.
Because I have to.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's like at the end of this, it's like, what if that's actually the like 42 version of you is the best it's ever been?
Yeah.
And it's like
pointed in that direction.
Exactly.
As far as toys goes, since that is the topic at hand, I had a really, really light week. I think a 0 before today, because we were going to go to Retromania and I was saving my bullets.
Sure.
There was multiple days and multiple times where I was like, oh, I could hit this Target or this Walmart on my way home, or let me go to this toy store and see what's up because I haven't been there in a minute. And then I went, nope, going to Retromania, right? So gonna like blast off there. So let's hang on to it. Let's keep some dollars in the wallet. And so I ended up not doing it. And then today we took our trip to Retromania. So why don't we chat about that?
When the world needs saving, the world turns to... and his super team.
Superman's not just a superhero, he's the superhero. Superboy and Steel are the super team. This is Steel. He's got an armor suit, and check out that hammer. Pow! Superboy rides in on his motorcycle and blasts him. Bam! Pow! Hondo is a supervillain. He's got these power cables that go zzz, zzz, zzz. Superman comes in like boom. Bad guys gotta learn. You don't mess with the X.
Superman. Figures and vehicles each sold separately.
All right, so today is the blissful day. We've been talking about it for months and months and months. We actually did have a couple of the toy soldiers come out and meet us there, which was cool. They got a ton of stuff.
Yep.
They had bags and bags.
Yep.
Nick, post that stuff, tag us in it. And then you, me, and your girl drove it's about an hour away from Austin to get to, it's in the San Antonio area. We've been to Retromanias
one other time last year.
One other time. I think it's on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we went to Dripping Springs. So this is the same event, but in a city that's, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours from there, from Dripping Springs.
Something
Yeah,
like
so it's a
that.
totally different region. We presumed going into it, way different vendors, but probably some of the crossover from the Austin people as well.
Yeah.
Based on the social media, we thought we were like, this is gonna be what's up. It wasn't.
It was not.
It wasn't. We both did make purchases.
Yeah.
We both did have some good stuff. For me personally, because you and I basically break off right when we go into these places, we're not generally looking for the same stuff.
Correct.
Or also, like, we're also two people that are really hard to lose.
Yeah.
So all I have to do is scan real quick and I'll find you.
Yeah.
Even in a really crowded place, I'm like, there's Christian.
Yes.
I don't have to like, if I lose Danielle, I lost her in a market in Mexico City and it caused a tiff where she thought I lost her, I thought she lost me, and then I found her family. I sat and had like lunch with them, and then she's like, "Where the heck are you?" Like, because she's very losable in a crowd.
That's hilarious.
Like, I'm not.
I may have told this on the podcast. I feel like I did, but there was a time when we went to Mexico. We used to do like mission trips and stuff with the church back in the day. It was in Mexico, and I was probably like 8, maybe. And we went to like this crazy small, almost like village type thing, because it was like the part of Mexico that is like third world country, cardboard houses and stuff like that. And apparently there was like a freaking city-wide or village-wide search party for an 8-year-old boy, and that boy was me. And for some reason, I just was walking, saw a kid digging a hole. And the hole was like 7 feet deep.
And you were like sick.
And I was like sick, so I jumped in the hole with him, started digging the hole with him.
Oh my God.
And then I'm standing there, and then some guy like walks past, and he's like, "Christian," and I just look up, and he's like, "What are you doing? We're all looking for you." I'm like, "I'm digging a hole down here."
That's incredible.
And I just come out, and there's like a large group of people that are all just like, "Oh my God, there he is."
Something tells me everyone listening to this podcast can understand the allure of being a kid and digging a hole.
Digging a hole, dude.
Like all of the listeners of this podcast in the Philippines and Germany and the UK, all over the US and Texas, they're all like, hell yeah.
Dude, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, that hole was probably 5 feet deep. I was just 4'11". You know what I'm saying? Like it felt like I was like I had to be like lowered in by like a crane or one of those wire. But anyway,
yeah, I had one of those moments when I was a kid too, because there's a festival that happens in my hometown. Used to be known, it's now wine, but when I was a kid, it was apples, and it was like basically a town founded on the apple industry.
Wow!
So they would have the Apple Blossom Fair, which had a parade. And me and my like second grade buddy, somewhere in there, it's the same kid who I went and saw Ninja Turtles in the movie theater with for my very first movie ever.
Okay.
Midnight release, Joey. And
Joey and Johnny.
We were standing there on the street watching the parade, and I think his mom was with us, and she went into like a store and was like, "Don't move." And she walked away, and immediately we were like, we should probably go off on our own, right?
Yeah.
So we just did in a completely crowded area, and that same thing caused like a whole search for us. It was bad. It was bad news. Like, that's a core memory of like being in trouble. That was in trouble. Like, that's
amazing.
Bad
I was in trouble, and I was like, I could not understand why. I'm like, I'm over here, like I'm interacting like with a kid my age. Like, we didn't speak English, but he was just like asking me for tools.
Yeah.
Which are essentially just sticks that he was using to dig. And I'm like, here you go.
I love it. So anyways, Retromania. So I bought the tickets like 3 days in advance, 4 days in advance, something like that.
Yeah.
And we chose to get the general admission tickets just because like we had an hour drive. We didn't really need to get up any earlier to get there an hour earlier. So it was supposed to open at 10 for general admission and 9 for VIP, which I knew. Saw it on the website, all the social media. I knew that was the case.
Yes.
However, the digital tickets said 9 o'clock on them. And we got there at 9:30-ish, and we go up to the lady, and she's like, "Do you have general admission or VIP?" And I go, "General admission." And she goes, "That's at 10 o'clock. I go, "The ticket says 9 o'clock." And she goes, "No." And I'm like, "Yes." And she's like, "No, that's probably when you bought it." And I'm like, "No. It says 9 o'clock on it." And she goes, "Well, it's at 10 o'clock. And I go, "Okay, that's fine. But it does say 9 o'clock on it." And she goes, "No." And I show it to her, and she goes, "That's when you bought it." And I'm like, "No, it isn't." Like, we ended up having to wait, and it was, you know.
Her nose got progressively louder. She was like, no.
She was like.
No. And she looked at it, she was like, "Oh, well, no." And I'm like, hey, we're not, like, nobody's itching to go meet the guy who voiced Donald Duck's son, Ducky Jr.
I wasn't even, I go, "Look, I'm not arguing with you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even trying to get in early.
Yeah.
I just want you to admit that it says 9 o'clock on this ticket."
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. So then we go get in line. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Hey, Samantha, hold this spot while we go outside and make a video at Mighty Champions to see that video." We go outside. We take less than 30 seconds to make a video. We turn right around, go back inside, and Samantha's gone.
Gone. I'm like, which I was like, hey, welcome to my life. But
it was like totally no harm, no foul because the line hadn't grown at all.
Yeah.
It was just the principle was so funny.
she was like, okay. And then just walks off.
Hold the spot. I got you. The minute
Yeah.
our backs are turned, she leaves.
I also loved when they were like, it's 10 o'clock, release the bulls. And it was like, everybody just was like kind of moving faster than I felt like we should have. It was like, hey, man, like...
Oh, I didn't even register that.
Yeah, everybody was just like, I'm surprised people were getting pummeled because it was just like a thing. And the lady was like trying to check people's hands, but people were just walking past her. So she was like fake checking, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we can dive into...
So yeah, like feel free to jump in with your experience, but like, so you're walking in and I'm seeing a lot of stuff for sure. I can see a lot of tables. I can see that like, as of right now, there's not that many people, but there's a lot of stuff to check. And those are like the golden times in these sorts of things. And I'm going to like, it's kind of laid out like a circle with like stuff in the middle. So I'm doing like a zigzag kind of thing through there. And I'm seeing a lot of adjacent things to the things that I like. I'm getting bombarded with almost.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I see the Incredible Hulk. It's the 90s Hulk show that I love, but I don't collect that. Mm-hmm. Oh, there I see like a whole little basket filled with Batman on card. But it's Batman and Robin. Like, here's the wrestling space. Oh, but it's $5 AEWs. Like, I'm getting a lot of that, and I'm also being overwhelmed with video games, which I love, and I did buy some, and I do collect, but it's not. It's always my backup plan.
Yeah.
And I'm spending a lot of time going through video games, and then I make it like 3/4 of the what I thought was 3/4 of the way through, and I have conceded. And I'm going, I don't think I'm going to find anything today. I'm just not feeling this. I'm not seeing what I'm looking for here. So let me just start buying video games.
Yeah.
Like I'm already on my backup plan. And so I found a place where I had a couple of games, which we'll get to here at the end, what we actually purchased. And then I found some, I did end up finding two figures at the same place. And in my head, I'm going, okay, it's been 30 minutes and I'm done. And then you come up to me and go, I'm ready to start flipping tables over here, but I found another room.
Before we get to that point, we go in there, take a hard right, and I'm like, okay. Same thing. It was almost just like a mirage.
Yeah.
It was straight up like everything was a mirage. I had like the closer
It was the Looney Tunes birds looking at each other like they're a whole roasted turkey.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That isn't really there.
Dude, I kept getting closer to things and I'm like, man, God. And like without, like again, no joke whatsoever, about like, I don't even know, 3 minutes in, I'm like, oh crap, this might actually suck.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, looking around, I walk around the corner and I see, like, I'm assuming they're bootlegs. I think just somebody is printing, like, Alien, DC, Superman, Batman shirts.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're just bootlegs.
Those are bootlegs,
Like,
for sure.
like flea market, like, straight up, and like, literally, like, thousands of them.
Yeah.
And...
Those same vendors were at the Comic-Con that I went to in San Antonio.
Yeah. So I look at that, and for some reason, that just becomes like a that was a signal to me that I'm like, and then I think right across from them was like somebody selling cupcakes or something like that. And I was like, oh crap, this might actually suck.
Yeah.
And,
doesn't bode well.
Man, and it's like, I travel, I want to say, like if I had to take an actual guess, 200 feet, maybe, before I find one table that has something that I'm like genuinely interested
There's a
in.
lot of tables that have like, okay, there's a couple of people where I'm thinking, why'd you pay for a booth here? You have 9 volumes of Charmed VHSs and a Donald Duck glass and a Belle from Beauty and the Beast Happy Meal toy.
Yeah.
What are you doing
Lot of
here?
that.
And then it's like, okay, you have a booth, and everything that's at your booth, I could go to Ross right now.
Like legitimately like a Ross exclusive booth.
Or like Target clearance.
Yeah.
And you're charging 3 times as much
Yeah.
for it. There was a lot of those people. There was places that did have very cool stuff that I don't collect.
Yeah.
There was a couple of those, but a lot of them were honestly like making me angry.
Dude, I was like thoroughly not enjoying myself because it was just like, oh my God. Like every time I told you on the way back, I was looking through like a couple loose bins, and I was like, this isn't even like loose figures this isn't anything that anybody wants. Like these are the figures that are just like, it may as well have been like every bin was the MCU Marvel Legends. Like usually like loose figures are like, okay, like cool. That's always like a good backup plan. And even loose freaking action figures failed me today.
Yeah, dude.
And I was like, oh my God. Like I kept digging through, and it almost was like the scene in The Sopranos when he's dreaming and his freaking teeth are falling out. And then he's like trying to load a gun, and his bullets fall on the ground. Then he picks them up, and they're turning into like clay. Yeah. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
To dig for action figures.
That's a really good analogy. So there is a second room.
Yeah.
And I went on a roller coaster of emotions in this second room because before I've even crossed through the threshold, I could tell that the tone of what's available has changed.
Yeah.
In a positive way.
Yeah. The lighting is better.
The lighting is better. Here's the heat.
Yeah.
Here's where it's at. I can see directly ahead. There's one vendor where I'm like, that's an action figure vendor right there. I see modern Marvel. I see modern Joes. I see like vintage stuff. But there's a big crowd right now. To my right, that's where you're at, and there's a wall, like a floor, like 10 foot high, like 8 foot high wall that this vendor has constructed. And there's no space on it at all. It's all 90s figures. It's all superheroes, Total Justice, and that realm of stuff.
Yeah.
Spawn, and like I'm like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then you come up and you go, there's no prices on anything. And I take another look and I'm like, yeah, there's no prices on anything.
Not only that, but they were zip tied to like the rack that they were hanging on.
Yeah.
So it was like, so I got to ask you, I got to walk up and ask you, oh, hey, how much is this? And then can you like wire cutter this thing off for me?
Right. And there's a good enough crowd here to make it like a little tight and uncomfortable, like as far as just the number of people. And the person running this booth has, I'll just say it, they have crackhead energy. Like very crackhead energy. And they've got the prices on a notebook, like a small like detective's flip notebook with handwritten every item and its price on this notebook, which is like, that's tweaker behavior.
They had like a huge, that's why that booth was very crowded. There was a lot of people there because he had good things with zero price tag.
And everyone's having to ask him, and he's having to look it up on paper,
or just make it up off the dome.
Just make it up. But I'm like looking, and I see like inside of the booth. First, I like turn my head and I see Samantha, and I'm like, I know you. And then behind her, I spot a T2, and I'm like, oh crap! So I basically shove my way in there, past the crackhead who's running it, and the crackhead he's talking to who's trying to buy stuff. Get over there, like see what Samantha's looking at, find the T2, lift all the other stuff that's zip tied over the top of it. It's in janky condition. I'm like, okay, no good. Turn around, cannot get out, like trapped between two crackheads who are having an incredibly crackhead conversation where the one guy's trying to compile a whole mess of things that he wants to buy while the other guy is going through his paper notebook and figuring out prices, and it's just got like back alley vibes to it. And I was like, oh no, I don't think I'm going to like it here. Mm-hmm. Like,
meanwhile, I'm trying to like get my hands on some of these like loose Power Rangers that he has. And then once I'm starting to see like the rhythm of things, I'm just like, this is just making me like my heart pound And I'm just like, this is so annoying because several people are lining up to ask how much something is. Because guess what? He doesn't have a price tag on anything. And his wife...
he has by far the most items of anybody there.
Exactly. And his wife is working the booth, but guess what? She doesn't know the price. So anytime somebody needs to ask how much something is, she yells, "Babe, how much?" And then he turns around and then answers the question, and then she takes the payment. And I'm just like, on principle, I am walking away.
Yeah.
I went back around again because I was so desperate to find anything that I would just enjoy. Yeah. And I wanted to buy. I was itching bad, dude, bad. And I go up to the freaking, like, there was a Superman Batman that I've been eyeing on eBay. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, they have this. I definitely will get it. So then the lady just happens to be standing next to it, and I was like, "How much do you have on this?" And then she's like, "Babe, how much for this?" And he's all like, $25." And I was like, before he even answered, I'm already walking away because I'm like,
because you could tell he's just making it up.
You're making it up. I'm like, I could probably get that on eBay for 19, maybe. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like on principle, like the like what you're like doing is just not working, and I'm gonna be part of that stat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I don't want to contribute to your poor approach to this.
Yeah, dude. It sounds like we're being really negative, but like this was the start. This was the beginning of the ongoing problem that we kept running into every freaking booth was just like zero price tags. And then you're like, whose booth is this?
That was my major problem, was whose booth is this? The amount of booths that I walked up to, started fishing around, no one said a word to me, usually there's someone sitting there and you're like, oh, they just are antisocial or whatever. They did say hi, whatever. No one's sitting there. Yeah. I don't know who. At one point, I locked eyes with a guy who was shoplifting. He looked right into my face. He had a canvas bag, and he was robbing the lady with charmed VHSs and a Donald Duck cup. I say the lady. I presumed it was a lady because no one was there. Yeah. I looked around to be like, hey, this guy's stealing from you, and I couldn't find anybody. And that happened, not the stealing, but not being able to find who was there happened multiple times.
Yeah.
So anything that I was even like, maybe this costs too much, but maybe I could talk them down. Multiple times I'm like, talk who down?
Yeah.
I don't know whose booth this is.
Right.
Like, that happened a lot. Like, a lot.
And I think the biggest thing that, like, we kept, or at least I kept running.
And that was my experience. That was your experience. That was Samantha's experience. And I think Nick said something about it as well.
I think Nick had a better time. I think he just happened to, like, land in a gold mine where, like, they had exactly what he was looking for. And then he was able to get it. Me, it's like I could not stop striking out. And like, again, mine was like somewhat self-induced striking out, but it was also just like, we've been in the game for a minute, you know? And it's like I think being in this and doing this podcast, it makes you more aware of the market and like how what these toys cost, especially your own collection.
Not just like what they cost in one place, but what they cost on eBay versus what they cost at a flea market versus what they cost on Facebook Marketplace versus what they cost at Retromania or what you feel like they should cost, like, and whether it's elevated or dropped because of whatever the scenario is. And I could, brother, I'm here to tell you the pricing at many booths here was fictitious.
Yeah.
Like, fictitious. I saw Psylocke and Thanos 2-pack, which is clearancing at Targets. Like, not all Targets, not in Texas.
Yeah.
But when you see it online and somebody has found it, they're finding it in clearance.
Yeah.
And it was started at $60 and it's going for $40. These people had it for $100.
Yep.
They also had Spider-Man 2099, which hasn't really even widely hit retail yet. $45. It's going to be $27 next week when I walk into a Target.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Those people came up to me and asked me, do you need help with anything? And I went, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like, I was like mad at them.
Right.
Like,
yeah. I mean, I proved myself right on the way home because, like, again, I'm desperate at this point where I'm just like, dude, like, this is like just a dud fest where I'm like looking around and it's like, oh, this person's selling slime in a jar, homemade. I'm not even lying either. Like, they were testing it out and it was like some kid wrapping it around its head on their head, and I'm just like, Yeah, have fun with that, dude. Like,
The order in which you said slime in a jar, homemade.
that's what I'm saying, man. It was just like, and I'm like, please God, let me find something. And then I'm like, okay, I'm like, okay, great. Like there's gonna be loose toys. There's gonna be action figures. Again, I like a played with. If I find a played with like Zeo Power Ranger, like I'm fired up. But it was like even those were like $20, and I'm like, what? And then I'm like, the 10-inch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and I'm like, I find several of those. I'm like, cool, at least I'll get this. $20. And I'm like, dude, the last time I bought one of these was $5. I'm like, figure it out. And
You found some Lightning collection too, right? Is that what those were?
Yeah, they're not Lightning collection. I forget they call it Legacy collection or something like that, which is like I did, I think on the Power Rangers episode we did, like the second one ever.
And what did that was in box.
They were in box, and they were like the Bandai, which I think those like look way better than the Hasbro. And first of all, when I first found them, I had no idea whose booth they belonged to.
Yeah.
And they also didn't have price tags. So I just was like, whatever. And then like being so desperate that I circled all the way back around to the very beginning again to try to find something.
Yeah.
I finally asked the guy, I'm like, hey man, do these belong to you? He's like, yes. And I'm like, how much are these? And then he was like, oh, they got individual price tags. I was like, where? And then upon further examination on his end, he was like, oh, because they didn't.
I didn't put prices on anything.
Yeah, he's all that one's 40. That one's 60. And then I was like, okay. And then he was like, yeah, so like if you want to, I always got these like San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, and I'm like, okay. And then he was like, but yeah, if you want to get like those, like I'll cut you a deal on both of them. I was like, cool. And then I just walked away because I'm just like, yeah, like that's already probably too expensive. Like probably $10 more than what I would find on eBay. And like, don't get us wrong, we understand that like people want to go there to make money, but our biggest gripe is that it's like it's like you want to go there to make money, but if you want to make money, be honest, be fair, and be willing. Like, don't just overprice, because like a couple booths over, I see a Spider-Man Classics, which is like a current line that I'm collecting. I see a Venom, which I've been eyeballing on eBay for a long time. I get so fired up only to be shot out of the sky because I see it's $50, and I'm like, dude, what? And I'm like, that's not $50, man. Like, again, I confirmed it on the way home. Literally, like the last 3 sold on eBay were like $19, $22, and I think like $24.
Like, you're not dealing with the gen pop at a convention. You're dealing with people who know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's not, they weren't walking by and thought, let me pay, whatever it costs to get in.
Yeah.
That's not who's here.
Yeah.
You're not going to get away with it.
Exactly.
And you're going to leave with the same stuff that you showed up with. Mm-hmm. And that can't be your goal.
Right.
Like, it shouldn't be your goal. Like, come on. Yeah, so in that back room, excuse me, still getting over being sick. I did like a lap. I did the zigzag. I saw everything that there was to see. And there was, like I said, there was cool stuff.
Yeah.
Just not cool stuff at an appropriate price, or not cool stuff that I collect.
Right.
Like the convention just seemed like it was intentionally dodging me. Like, I would go this way and it would go that way, and then I would go that way and then it would come back this way. Like, it was playing defense. I was like, it's a sentient convention that doesn't want me to buy anything.
Oh, dude, like, you walked away with more items than I did.
Yeah.
And mine were like almost just like pull the emergency like cord just to get something.
Yeah. So what did you end up walking away with?
So I walked back, or I found another booth, and it was like a guy that I had bought from last time. And he was like cool because he was willing to play ball, but he was like, he had a beast the first time and was like, yeah, man, so yeah, I'd be willing to do 30 for that. Or no, it was 30. It was 30. And then he was like, I'll be willing to play ball on that, if you like whatever. And I was like, okay. I came back around. I was like, so is 30 the best you can do? He's like, yeah, man. I was like, so like that was my first interaction with him. And then like this time I came back around, it just felt a little bit more like that. Like I saw dinosaurs that I was like, oh, sick. Mirage. They were like just 2 steps left of Jurassic Park. And I'm like, what even is that? And then I'm like, okay. And then I run over to this thing.
Prehistoric park.
And I run over and I see another one and I'm like, okay, cool. Dang. He had a 10-inch, like right at the end of Toy Biz's life of having like the Marvel stuff. There was a like tall Spider-Man figure. It wasn't the like Icon series or whatever they're called. It was like more of a toy that just happened to be pretty articulated.
Did you see that Marvel Legends Hulk at
Yes.
the D-bag booth?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was amazing. Yeah.
I'm talking about the like, what is it, like 13-inch one or whatever? Yeah.
Something like that. But so I look at that and I'm like, $30. I'm like, I doubt it's $30. Like I don't think there really is a market for this. I think just because it's Spider-Man, it's like more. And I'm just like, dude, I am just trying to find something, man. I pick up a Spider-Man from like the Tobey Maguire. It's loose, no price tag on it whatsoever. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I already have this at home, but like I was just so desperate that I was like, maybe. And then I put it down, and then like 30 seconds later, he's like, hey, yeah, dude, I'm willing to do $40 on that superposable Spider-Man. I was like, awesome. I'm not. And then like I found some Batman Beyond. And that one kind of like rang out a little bit to me because it's like I've been wanting to find some Batman Beyond stuff. Really just Batman Beyond in general. Because I had him when I was younger. And it was the one that I had. And I was like, cool, I'm going to grab this. And I was like, yo, man, how much for this? And he was like, oh, $10 for that one. Loose. Really bad shape. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. And I'm thinking like, dude, this is a $5, like easy $5. And I'm like, you do Cash App, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, Cash App. And I'm like, cool. And he's like, yeah, dude, $1 extra fee for the apps. And I'm like,
It's just that kind of day.
here's $11, man.
Yeah,
like
it's that kind of day.
it was. And then he was like, he's like, but price will go down if you keep buying more. And then I'm like, okay, let me know when you get something. And then I just like walk off.
Yeah, when you got something good at a decent price, let me know.
Dude, and for about 35 minutes, I am walking around with a single action figure in my hand like I'm 5 years old at HEB.
I think it's the one you came in with.
Exactly. Like literally, I walked around with it begging, looking for anything I could get my hands on. I circled back around to a table that had like some loose Power Rangers in there, but they were still like $25. And I'm just like, dude, like, I just need to figure out whether or not, like, why, you know? And then I'm like, I told you about how I was going to go back to that Venom. And I'm like, man, I was going to try to pull out eBay and like actively look at the price in front of him so that he would question it. And that I could be like, oh, well, like these are going for $20 basically. Like, could you do half of what you're asking? Could you do 50% of what you're actually asking to go based on more of what they're actually going for?
How much closer to reality can we get?
Yeah, exactly. And then it was, dude, it just was like Power Ranger, like the Power Rangers that were there were just like, again, Mirage Power Rangers of just like weird one-offs that I'm like, what is this? Like, I don't even know what this is. Or just like the 12-inch like ultra plastic shampoo bottle, you know, like type stuff. And dude, it's just like, I'm like, this can't be happening. And then like you're walking around, and you're like, yeah, I think I'm good. And I'm just like, you think there's anybody in the bathroom maybe selling anything? Like I'm desperate. And then like my girlfriend comes back around and she's got like plushies and like not plushies, but like vintage like Snoopy or the Energizer Bunny for some freaking funny reason.
Yeah, she bought a giant Energizer Bunny, which I think is actually kind of dope.
Yeah, it's cool. And then like I am looking around again, and then I realized there's like a handful of booths that I haven't seen that was like to the left when you walk in from the entrance. Again, more video games, more Pokemon cards, which it's like video games, sure, I can tip my hat, but I'm also just like generally not interested.
Yeah.
Pokemon cards, I'm just like, hey, here's a gun. But it's like, I just don't care, man. And it like kept killing my mojo every time I turned a corner and there wasn't vintage toys. It was just like, hey man, I'm selling a cup that has Shrek on it. How about you? And I'm just like, hey, your car's being towed. And it's me. And then I find a booth and I'm just like, oh, maybe. And then I'm like, oh God, yes. I see some X-Men movie figures from the X-Men 2000 movie. And I'm like, okay. I find a Wolverine and I'm like, $15, I'm taking that. Okay. So I have it in my hand and then I see, yeah. and I see like a little Power Ranger loose box, and then I'm like, oh, finally, because I see some $5 stamps on there, and I'm like, the universe might have returned to baseline. And I kneel down and I'm digging through it, and then it's just like freaking Dino Force and like more modern, and it's like, how do they know? Like, why do they know that, like...
It's a sentient convention, man.
Yeah, dude, it just, again, I told you on the way home that I dream about toys all the time, and most of my toys, I go in there and I see something and it's beautiful, and I get up close to it, and it's like Wolverine, but he only has 3 teeth. And it's just like, it's so close to being amazing, and that's exactly what today was.
So... You mentioned that I had said to you, like, I'm done, I can't do this anymore. I had actually already walked out. I had, like, gone down the hallway. I had gone to, like, the little sports lady that was in the hallway, gone through the jerseys, and I was on my way out the door. And then I turned and looked back inside, and I saw, like, one little thing that caught my eye, and I went back inside, and then I turned and I saw you. And I was like, oh, let me just go, like, hang out with him for a minute. So then on the second time around that I had decided I'm done, I can't do this anymore, I'm walking out, and I walked past this booth that I had already walked past twice before, but I didn't see the RoboCop Ultra Police Robocopter sealed when I was there the first time. So I go over to it, and I'm thinking, if he has this, then maybe he's got the Robo 1 car. And he's talking to somebody, so I'm waiting for him to get done with that conversation. And I go around the other corner of his booth, and I see the Robo Cycle sealed. And I'm like, he has to have the Robo 1. So I ask him, I go, do you have the car of this? And he goes, I did, but I sold it. And I go, today? And he goes, yesterday while I was setting up. And I'm like, this convention is out to get me.
Yeah.
And then I went straight outside from that conversation. I was like, it's just not in the cosmos today.
Dude, I'm telling you, it just was like really weird, because it felt like it was like, am I just like here kind of, or am I just, it's just not the place, you know? Like there were so many booths that just had like modern Ross exclusives, modern Marvel Legends, which you collect, but they weren't even good.
No, they were
like MCU.
If they were good, like Psylocke and Thanos, they were triple the price.
Exactly.
That they're supposed to be.
I mean, like on the way home, we were obviously talking about it a bunch, but I was like, I don't have niche collections, really. I don't think I do. I collect vintage Marvel Legend Toy Biz. There were 2 booths that had altogether 8 of them in the entire building.
That's accurate.
And the majority of them were overpriced, like out the yin yang. There was the booth that I bought the X-Men Wolverine from. He had some. I wish that I wanted them, but it was like Scarlet Witch and like Bullseye, who I already have, X-23, which I don't want, but I would take the Apocalypse head that it comes with, and then Ultron. Ultron was like the only one that I could potentially, but then I'm like, it's just, I'm not chasing it right now.
Right.
They were cheap. They were actually like on par price. I also collect DC Universe Classics. There was one. I spotted one, the same one as you, DC Universe Classics, in this entire place. One of them.
Yeah.
A Superman that I already have.
Wild.
Dude.
To me.
And then like the Power Ranger thing was just like, figure it out. Like, is this $20 now, or is this $10, or is it like whatever you feel like the day is? Because there were some that were like 15, 25, 10, 15, 20, 30, 25. And then like Jurassic Park, which there was like 3 vendors that had Jurassic Park, but it was just not worth it.
Yeah.
And then like what else? Like there was Lord of the Rings. One guy had some Lord of the Rings stuff, but they were like box sets for like 120 or something like that. And then like the Batman animated series stuff that I do collect, there was some of that. It just felt like not the animated series, but like, you know, like the Batman, Superman, Batman and Robin, which is more my speed than yours. But even then, It was just like
I saw the only Batman the Animated Series figure that I saw in this entire place was Bane, which I saw twice, but I already have it.
yeah.
I didn't see a single other, not Crime Squad, not Batman and Robin Animated Series, or whatever it's called. Like, I'm like, how is this possible?
Yeah.
I collect also not niche stuff that's incredibly popular.
Yeah.
And was bupkis.
Yeah. I was like, less than 1% of the items that were in that store were things that in that freaking place.
Yeah.
That were like what I actually collect.
So what'd you actually walk away with? You got the Wolverine.
Wolverine and a Batman Beyond toy, dude.
Yeah, rough
I spent,
day.
yeah, I think I spent $22 or something like that when I had planned to spend about $100.
So even on a bad day, I still spent about $80. I walked away with Rampage World Tour on Nintendo 64, which I'm stoked about, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, like one of my favorite games ever. And I got, you might not have found Power Rangers, but I did. And Super Nintendo, I got the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game. I can't remember if it's supposed to be good or not. I've never played it. Really looking forward to giving it a shot.
Sick.
And then as far as figures go, I have increased my Predator collection, and actually these Kenner Vintage are the first to get to 4. So I've got 3 Predator 1 NECA, 2 Predator 2 NECA, and this will make number 3 and number 4 of the Kenner. I got the Stalker Predator, which glows in the dark, which Danielle will be thrilled about because she is obsessed with all things that glow in the dark.
Cool.
The card is like, I don't know, maybe an 8 out of 10. Like, good enough for the wall, I think.
Yeah.
And then I got the Spiked Tail Predator, which is a fan favorite. This is probably closer to like a 9-ish out of 10 card. Looks great. So like I found these both at the same vendor. They were marked at 40 and 30. I think he gave them to me together for 60. So
cool.
30 a piece, which is like about to go in rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was pretty stoked on that. Yeah, all things considered, fun. Like fun to just like look at stuff, like which is what I kind of usually just assume, like, oh, I'm just gonna like check it out, have a good time, like look at some toys, talk to some toy people, meet up with some of the toy soldiers, like that sort of thing. We got to do that. But as far as like the joy that you get exclusively from finding your thing, very little.
Dude.
Like not a good convention.
Yeah, I
think.
feel really bad for saying it because honestly, if this is your first time listening to us, it's like
This is a very positive podcast.
it's very positive and we're pretty easy to please. At least I think so. But it was like, man, like I don't know. It's like not anybody. Like I'm complaining because they didn't have what I wanted, which just sounds like selfish. But it was just like. It was just really bizarre, and I think what made the experience worse was like no price tags.
And whose booth is
Whose
this?
booth is this? And then pricing just being crazy. Like people just pricing things just because they were like, oh, the back says 2004, it's Spider-Man, and it's also Venom. $50 sounds great. And then I'm like, dude. So that I think was like the killer of Mojo.
Yeah.
And honestly, like if I had to, like I said, if I had to rate today as far as like convention experience as well as just like interactions with vendors and stuff like that, just straight up probably like 2 or 3 out of 10, like that low, because it was just and not
I
only
go
that,
slightly high. I would say like 4.5 out of 10. Still not.
I didn't have any good interactions. Last time, at least I was able to walk away and be like, oh, that guy was pretty cool. Like that guy felt pretty honest, or like he felt like he was like really cool and like wanted to play ball and stuff like that. Everybody, at least the ones that I could even like talk to, some of them didn't even talk to me. Others were just like, I don't know. Even like the ones that I did buy things from, it was just like an uncomfortable buying scenario, and then they were like punishing me for using Cash App.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, but it was like so unbelievably crowded, which good for them.
It got crowded, which I anticipate.
Yeah.
Like I try to get there when it opens, and I would like to get out of there within like an hour or two because
Right.
it's gonna get slammed by the late people, and that did happen, and I got claustrophobic, and I just couldn't be inside of there anymore.
Yeah.
Which like that is generally the case every time for me.
You know, when we were waiting in line for it to open, and there were 3 different people that came walking out. They got in at like 9, right? We were there at like 9:40. Let's say 9:40. We're waiting in line. There were already people leaving.
Yeah, that's not a great sign.
And
in hindsight, that should have been an indicator.
I wanted to make a joke about how like, oh man, like oof, and like several of them were leaving with 1 or 2 items.
Yeah.
And I was like,
if you have a crack at an empty convention, essentially.
Yeah,
that should have been an indicator.
And dude, there was so much space taken by things that were not vintage toys.
I mean, in all fairness, like the banner says, comics, video games, toys. Like it's not a exclusive toy convention. The ratios were not good though. Like for us, anyways. Like for our taste,
dude.
But enough complaining about the past. Enough complaining about vintage. Let's look to the future and talk about the news.
New at 11, buyer beware. A local family is outraged over a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy that they bought for their son. It says a variety of phrases, but the family believes one of them includes a swear word that starts with a B.
All right, I did actually curate the news this week, unlike last week when I was incredibly unprofessional. But it's a pretty light news week.
Yeah.
Again, like we just haven't really reached the season. We're still coming off the back of the holidays where people are not really spending monies and companies are not really announcing stuff. There is some stuff that I'm pretty excited about though. Marvel Legends, your Marvel's Grizzly went up for pre-order. I don't know how I feel about this figure. Like, I didn't realize it had a head where you can't see the guy's face, so it's just a giant, jacked bodybuilder bear figure, which is cool, like really, really cool.
Yeah, I'd rather have that, I think.
But I don't, like, for what? Also, like, if you just like cool action figures, like some people will collect action figures simply because they think that action figure is cool, which I respect. I'm not one of those people, though.
It's a cool, like, someone to go up against Hulk, I think.
Something like that. I'm a massive Spider-Man fan, and specifically Amazing Spider-Man. Never heard of Grizzly.
I thought Grizzly was Ursa Major.
Oh.
I don't know. I think there's another Marvel character called
2 bears?
Ursa Major. I'm pretty sure.
Interesting.
I could be wrong.
But that went up for pre-order on Entertainment Earth, so if you do want Grizzly and you do like just figures that look cool, which this one certainly does, go grab it. From McFarlane, they for the first time only one, there is a Green Lantern page puncher, which is Jessica Cruz. I've never heard of Jessica Cruz. Ever.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Maybe I have and I forgot.
Look at Jeff Johns' creation.
It's been a minute since I read that run.
She kind of happened with Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz or whatever. They were like the 2 additional Green Lanterns.
Pretty much anybody that puts on the slings that ring, I back them. Friend of Hal Jordan's is a friend of mine.
There you
go. Thin green line, you know?
There you go.
Looks good, you know what I mean? Like modern McFarlane figures are generally not bad. Like these days, they're generally not bad. Might be a character you care about, or you don't care about, or you got a problem with the scale or the price. But like they're hardly ever bad.
Right.
At least the DC multiverse. I did see multiple people putting Spawn figures on their worst figures of the year list.
Wow.
WWE put out. I'll let you guys look up the images of stuff that's already been revealed. There was a lot of that, like things that we've already talked about on the news, is now available for pre-order and in-box images. But one thing that had not been discussed and was revealed alongside of those things is the Rock Elite Series 125 Collector's Edition exclusive gold statue The Rock.
Saw that.
This feels to me like Dwayne Johnson and his out-of-control ego called Mattel and was like, I have an idea. What about a statue of me? This isn't something that Mattel does. This is the first of its kind.
Is it called statue?
No, but it is a statue. Like it comes with a little base, like the Academy Award. It's meant to be an award.
Okay.
Which I was like, maybe there's a use for that for the podcast. You know what I mean? Like next year's awards or something, like that's kind of funny. But what's to stop anyone from taking an action figure and spray painting it gold? Nothing. So what is this even? Like this feels, I'm very in tune with The Rock and his personality, and this feels like a vanity project of his to me. For instance, was it last year's WrestleMania or the one before last? He likes to interject himself into WWE just before WrestleMania, right, when the most eyes are on it, and he is a board member of the parent company TKO, so he can do whatever the heck he wants. So he interjects himself into the creative plans and goes, "I'm part of this now," and everyone has to just go, "Oh, okay." So he's in a tag team match where he's tagging with Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Well, Roman Reigns is the champion, and The Rock is not. So then he has a belt made that is for the People's Champ, and at the Hall of Fame the night before WrestleMania has Muhammad Ali's widow present him with this belt from the Alis. That's how delicate this man's ego is, so that he can go into WrestleMania with a belt that did not exist the day before. Like next level, like kind of thin skin. So that's why this gold statue of him, I'm like, I think he did this. That's just me. That's conjecture. I have nothing to base that off of.
Wow.
That's what it looks like to me. There is a new version of the same Joe Hendry figure from Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned. It's basically the same figure, but it comes with the TNA title, and there's two different versions of that where it looks to be the same figure, but one where it's boxed with the title over his shoulder, and another one where it's around his waist. That seems, I don't know, excessive, I guess would be the way to put that. But if you need the TNA title, go get it off that Joe Hendry. NECA showed off some new Toonie Terrors. I think I'm the only person on earth that buys Toonie Terrors for my Halloween display.
Perhaps.
But they did a Friday the 13th, the game, the like original Nintendo game where he's like teal and purple, which I think is pretty cool. And then they also did I Know What You Did Last Summer. Gordon's fisherman guy. So if you do the Toonie Terrors, those are something that you'll be able to buy in Q3 of 26, which would be October-ish, yeah. Maybe. Yeah. So that actually lines up. Boss Fight Studios, this is very exciting to me. The Legends of Lucha Libre is going to continue with their 5th wave, and these ones are premiums. So you see this dragon guy behind me that's like teal?
Yeah.
They're putting out a premium version of that figure, alternate black and gold colorway, more articulation, like updated version of the Ultimo Dragon is his name. And they're also doing Solar, who I'm not familiar with, but looks like a very cool like luchador guy. I'm happy Boss Fight Studios is still in the game. I'm happy that Legends of Lucha Libre is still going, and I'm happy that they're getting better. Like this has single jointed elbows. These have double jointed elbows. Like they're improving. I would like for Jazzwares and Mattel to have somebody to force them to have to up their game. Or Boss Fight Studios could even take over for AEW if Jazzwares does lose that, which who knows what's going on there. And then lastly, we'll get into Mondo, who showed off Beavis and Butt-Head, which I think is absolutely awesome. I can't really tell what the scale on these is. I can't tell if they're really, really big or really, really small, but because they're like really zoomed in photos, but like 3 extra heads, like a cornholio head and a head banging head, couch sitting legs, a TV, a couch, like nachos, like very, very cool. And then they also, Mondo being they, showed off a Chitara that's in their 1/6. So like that's big. That's real big. And she looks not quite out of the cartoon. It looks like their own kind of version of Chitara. Her like costume's a little bit more detailed and designed. It looks like Mondo said, let us take a crack at designing Chitara. But yeah, that's, did you have any other news that you wanted to talk about?
Nothing, man.
All right, let's get into the segment that brought us here today. What would happen if your collection disappeared?
It's a beautiful day in the sewers for the race between the shell-top 4x4 and the cheapskates. Hey, dude! And they're off! The 4x4 takes the lead with a little push. Now they come to the first foot obstacle. This is where the turtle turret ooze shooter comes in handy. But wait, the race has come to a halt. Have the vehicles broken down? Is the race over?
Nah, we ran out of fuel.
Oh, I guess we'll finish the race tomorrow.
Okay, so this is going to be a very interesting conversation. So here's the premise. You wake up tomorrow on January 18th, 2026. You've got the money that you've got in your bank account. You got no car. Things cost what they cost on eBay or at the store or at Retromania or wherever, like real life, right? Mm-hmm. This is not a blank check situation. This is like a real life situation. You wake up tomorrow and your entire collection, anything that you have more than one of, is gone. Where do you start to rebuild? That's the premise.
Like what direct line?
What do you start with? Like what 5 figures do you go, okay, like these are the 5 that I have to have in order to regrow from scratch, from zero. We will rebuild.
Yeah.
What are those 5 and why are you starting there? Or why not something else, right? So for example, I'll kick us off.
Kick it off.
The first thing that I'm going with is the Ultimate Edition Stone Cold Steve Austin that is at Walmart, my Walmart, your Walmart, every Walmart, and I think maybe approaching some Ross's and what's the British one?
DD's Discounts?
Not DD's, Ollie's.
Ollie's.
Like very, very plentiful. However, doesn't mean it's bad just because it's like a peg warmer.
Yeah.
It's like probably the best Stone Cold Steve Austin ever made.
Wow.
He's like tan and jacked, and you can take the clothes off of him and just make him like in his ring gear. So I'm definitely going to have a modern wrestling collection. Like if everything vanished tomorrow, I would cry and cry and cry, and then I would be like, okay, modern wrestling is what makes me the happiest to pursue, you know what I mean, and to look at and to like play with. So where do I start with modern wrestling? Well, obviously it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Okay, well, like my next thought was, it would be the which one was I thinking? I can't remember which one it was, but it was like $150 on eBay, and I was like, nope. I would just go with the one that I can get right now today. Like the seed is planted, I can restart the collection.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the one I would go with first.
Well, I definitely would not go to Retromania. That's for sure.
Let it go, man.
There would be nothing there for me. It's super fast. 'Cause I thought about this when we talked about the segment, and it was like, okay, because I'm looking at it from like a sentimental perspective. And then like some of the ones that I have now that were like the very first that I got them way later, you know, like in rebuying the collection and like buying ones that I've always wanted. But yeah, I mean, obviously I talk about the Marvel Legends Toy Biz religiously. I really think I just have no choice but to start there. And I think I do exactly what I did, which is when I think the very first one that I rebought was the Wolverine, which is like the yellow suit where he doesn't have the white eyes. I think it was the first Wolverine that was released in the wave or in the Marvel Legends Toy Biz wave.
Okay.
So I start there.
What's that go for?
It probably, I think in box, I would say It'd probably land in like $40 range, something like that. I think it was like pristine, doable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next one I'm going after. So the next thing that makes me the most happy is Spider-Man. My Spider-Man is modern Marvel Legends animated series, right? It's one Spider-Man and all the villains.
Yeah.
That's what my collection looks like. So the first thing that I wrote down was the Spider-Man that I currently have in my collection, which is the VHS 2-pack with Vulture. And then I moved on and I did the rest of the list. Then I went, wait a minute, how much does that cost? and I went back in to eBay, the sealed box with the two of them can get up around $300. I did not find a loose Spider-Man on eBay because who in their right mind would let it go? I was like, oh, everyone's keeping this figure.
Yeah.
So then I can't put that on the list because I would not pay what it costs for the aftermarket for the sealed box.
Yeah.
So then what I did go with was the Maximum Series Spider-Man. So Gone is my animated series shelf, and in its place, the same concept, but comic book accurate, right? So comic book accurate Lizard, Hydro Man, Sandman, Mysterio, Kingpin, all of them to come later on down the road. But Gone is the animated series because the Seed, which is Spider-Man himself, I've been outpriced. I wouldn't rebuy that.
Yeah. Dang. That's really tricky because I think the ones that I would go after are so, like, they're so expensive now.
Yeah, this is the exercise, right? That's what we're doing here is like, would you do this again if you had to right now? And so, like, as we're getting through this list, a lot of it, no, I would not. Yeah. Which is, if you guys are listening to this and you're thinking about a collection or you're thinking about that thing on eBay or you're thinking about that thing on Hasbro Pulse or whatever, do it because it's never ever going to be cheaper than it is right this second. If you're somebody who doesn't pre-order stuff, I highly suggest you change that because I pre-ordered the Spider-Man and Vulture 2-pack. I got it. I have it. It's lovingly displayed and it's beautiful. It is now way more money than I would ever dream of spending on an action figure on eBay.
I think right now I have the Super Colossal Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park.
So that's one thing that's way different from where you started is you have admitted to yourself that you just like dinosaurs.
I just like dinosaurs, and that's the part of like my only modern collection, basically. But it's huge. They're huge, and like it's really hard to pass on just having like a 2-foot tall Spinosaurus walking around. However, I don't think that I would buy it again. The only reason I bought it, I'd say all of those were because one, I found at Goodwill, which was like the Indominus Rex or whatever for $15. Couldn't pass it. The T-Rex I got discounted pretty heavily at Target, and the Spinosaurus just happened to go on sale for $25 on Walmart.com. Today I saw that same Spinosaurus being sold in that very front thing where you said the guy's about action figures for $125.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He also had the Hammond collection, which is like a greater.
It's
smaller, but it's like a way more detailed, finer, and that one was like $175 or something like that.
That's crazy.
I think what I would do, have I lost that? Because I think the Spinosaurus, to me, like the T-Rex is definitely like super important, but I just love the Spinosaurus because Jurassic Park 3 was, I think, was my Jurassic Park. And I think I would eBay the Jurassic Park 3 like from that time with the Spinosaurus. I definitely think it would be a long game. I think it would be like sending offers.
Yeah.
You know, but I think because the Hammond collection and the Super Colossal are out now, I think that changes the market. I don't need it to be in box, but I think I play the long game, or I start tapping into like friends I haven't talked to in a long time who I know probably have it in their closet.
You got this in your attic?
Yes.
That's the real long game.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. This one is going to be a shocker to you.
Okay.
It was a shocker to me. So I really genuinely put myself in this headspace. If everything was gone, like everything, there's nothing left. This room is bare. What would I genuinely do? And it was weird because this is sort of a sad thing to say. And I was like, wait a minute, is this making me look at my collection differently about some things? Some stuff I simply wouldn't pursue again.
Wow.
And I was like, does that mean that I don't like it? No, it doesn't. And what I was thinking about was G.I. Joe Classified and Predator. I'm still going to continue in real life on the timeline that I'm in reality, because I do
Not
like
the Kenator Predator, or just Predator in general.
in general, because what I was like, okay, what I would do is less collections and spend more per collection.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If I really knew for sure that this was starting over, not starting for the first time, then I would be more conscious of space. I would be more conscious of budget, and I would be more conscious of pursuing the high ticket items in lieu of many smaller ticket items, right? So one thing that pertains to is WWF Hasbro. My beloved WWF Hasbro figures, which will go into the casket with me. My loose, gorgeous eye candy stacked on top of WWF VHSs from that era. If they were gone, I would replace them with on-card WWF Hasbro figures. Wow. And I would start with Hulk Hogan Series 3, which goes for $275 right now.
Wow.
Mint. Because I would spend that kind of money on that because I love it that much, and it was such a huge part of my childhood, because I wouldn't spend that $275 on many, many, many other things. Starting lineups and Predator and G.I. Joe Classified and da-da-da-da-da. So I was like, some stuff just wouldn't come back so that I can spend more on the stuff that is that big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I'm trying not to do all Marvel Toy Biz, like the Marvel Legends. I mean, that probably would be the, like, if I wanted to be different, or not different, then I would just go after that again. Because that's where I started, and like the love of rediscovering and rebuying and getting ones that I've never had is just like an incredible feeling. But for the sake of the podcast and to change it up a little bit, I probably would do episode 1 faster, rather than like having come to the conclusion that I want to collect it. At least like the core groups, not every single one of those toys. Like, I don't need a Padme. I definitely don't need that. And I think one of the reasons for that is I think it's very easy to get very far, because they're $10 to like $6 to $10 each. The vehicles are pretty cheap. I think I could build.
There's vehicles?
Yeah, like there's like ships and stuff like that.
I didn't even know that.
Like, yeah. I think if I wanted to build a very pretty, like a vast toy collection for $100, I could probably get pretty far, because they're all pretty cheap. And I think that would be like because I think it'd be depressing to have like an empty room. So I think if I wanted to and just say, okay, like I'm going to take this $100 and I'm going to go to like, you know, any toy store on the planet is going to have them in abundance. And I think I could walk away with like a pretty hefty collection that would fill like some empty space.
Okay. Okay. It's sort of the same headspace. Everything is gone. What stays gone and what comes back. Ninja Turtles comes back for sure.
Okay.
So my current setup is Super 7 Ultimates that are the ones that are replicating the 80s Playmates in a larger scale. And I love them and I adore them. If they were to just vanish tomorrow, I would change it up. I really would. And that was another thing where I was like, do I not like this collection then? And I'm like, no, I do. But I've expressed on here multiple times that if I had the space and the money, I would have 10 different Ninja Turtle collections happening all at once. So I put a lot of brain power into this, and I was like, oh, well, obviously I'd just go with the 1988 Playmates. No, I wouldn't. That is, the price on those has gotten to the point where there's no way I would pursue that as a full-blown collection. Then I was like, the next thing I put down was, okay, the current Super 7 Ultimates 4-pack. Well, that's about $250, I think, somewhere in that range. Yeah. For all 4 of those. And I was like, no, wouldn't do that. What I would do, and then when I realized this, I was like, oh, this would actually be the best. And I might, huge emphasis on might, sell these Super 7s and switch it over to the
Wait, you're selling them? You get to sell?
I said might. I know, okay. I'm talking about real life.
Oh, okay.
If they were vanished, there's nothing to sell.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But if they vanished and I had to replace them, I would replace them with the NECA 4-pack of the cartoon turtles.
Okay.
Which is $160 for all 4 turtles, and that's a great seed for the cartoon collection.
Yeah.
So when I realized that what I would do if they vanished, I was like, I might do that in real life.
Sure.
Honestly, I might sell the Super 7s and start the cartoons.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do the math on it. But like, I love doing this stuff on the podcast because it makes me come to these conclusions that I otherwise wouldn't have come to.
That's big. This one's interesting to me because I'm not quite sure how to feel with this. But I think for my DC Universe Classics line, it'd be tough for me to want to go after that again.
Really?
And I think because I love the way they look. Again, like I've talked about it several times.
They're just really tough to pursue.
I think they're not necessarily tough to pursue, but there's like a weird... Like they're cheap and they're expensive.
Yeah.
There's like not a lot of in between. It's almost like I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. And I think...
Let me ask you this, okay? Like
Yeah.
in the case of this fictional thing,
Yeah.
all your DC universes go away. You're having this mindset of like, sometimes they're really cheap, but sometimes they're really expensive. Do I even want to go down that way? And you know Mattel's about to put out a whole new set at the end of this year.
So I think I go a different direction. I think because DC Universe Classics, the connection to me is not super nostalgic as much as I just love the way they look.
Yeah.
And because they were 2008, 2009, which is like a year.
And you're paying respects to DC.
Yeah, exactly. It's like what I feel like right now. The current line looks like the best, right? But it's not super nostalgic for me. And I think I'm ultra nostalgia driven. That's why like I'm not chasing modern.
Yeah.
I think if I were to do anything different, I probably would go after more of like those like $10, $15 like ones that I've been buying, like the Batman, like the Batman and
the
Robin,
Mattels and
the
stuff
Mattel, like that type of stuff hits so much harder from just a visual perspective, the nostalgia perspective, like what I see in my brain when I think Batman and like all that. I think I go after that before I go after DC Universe Classics. And it's really difficult for me to say because like I don't know what I know the Mattels are going to look good. And I really don't know what I'm going to do about that because it's modern. And again, I think we talked about this before, but like my fear with like, and why because like with the toys represent like the most special moment of my life in the younger years and what they mean to me. Modern toys don't give me that. And I feel like modern Mattel still won't give me that. And I think that by the time they come out, they'll be $30. I think the market will be like, they'll be $29.99 or more.
It's not unrealistic.
Yeah, and because it's like still another year, so I don't think I pursue those either. I think I just go and I buy the Man of Steel collection, right? The Superman, like the Kenner Man of Steel. I think I get the Batman animated series. I think I get vehicles. I think I get like, play sets and stuff like that. Just so it's just this all out like classic DC that I'm just buried in.
Okay, fair. Okay, my last one. This is also gonna rock your world. Okay, so everything's gone. Not everything's coming back.
Yeah.
Right. What would start that isn't even here now? Right, because there would not be a movie character shelf.
Yeah.
That's like my just scratch an itch because I didn't find anything at a convention shelf.
Yeah.
Like I said, Predator probably wouldn't be here. Starting lineup wouldn't be here. 10-inch Justice League probably wouldn't be here. G.I. Joe Classified probably wouldn't be here. Again, I love these things because they're here in real life, but like, would I bring them back? Probably not, so that I would free up the funds to be able to go after things such as Series 1, Spider-Man, Toy Biz,
Spider-Man Classics.
I have, in the last like 2 weeks, I have fallen in love with the classics. Not necessarily the X-Men classics, they're cool. I like them. The Spider-Man classics and the Hulk classics. And I've always loved the Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
But only on box.
Yeah.
There's something about the paint app and the joints and the teeth and some of them that I'm just like,
stay within your boundaries. Careful.
Why are you balling up a fist? But on box with the comic and the whole presentation, but that one specifically with the stand that's like the light from his belt and all that business, and like the white and the, oh my God.
Yes.
Like, what is it? Issue 301, I think, is in it. Like, just an amazing presentation in box. I would, if everything was to vanish, I would start going after on card Toy Biz, like Hulk and Spider-Man classics and some Marvel Legends, but I would start with that Spider-Man. And it's really easily obtainable. It's like $40.
Yeah, they're pretty. Yeah, they are.
55.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're gonna start a little, especially those. They're gonna start a little higher. And I think may as well go for that, like that to be my fifth, because again, I talked about that Spider-Man Amazing Fantasy was like my first Marvel Legends ever, and or I guess Spider-Man Classics is what it was, because it's like that was the thing that kicked off everything. So if I go back and get that though, that's what's hard about it, because the way I got it again was so bonkers, you know, like traveling to the nexus of all realities to meet an old lady outside of a cave, basically. So it's like really tricky about how I would go about that again. I definitely wouldn't go to Collector's Crossroads so they could be like, hey man, do you need any help?
But if your walls are barren,
If my walls
just
are
jump on
barren.
eBay and pull the trigger. You know what I'm saying? Like just get it over with.
Yeah, I think eBay would definitely
Let the cool chase and the cool story of how you obtained it come later on.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, yeah, but just get it over with. Like, I think that's a staple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we've been kind of kicking around the idea of doing like a Hall of Fame or like a columns or pillars or whatever kind of analogy you want to put on the toys throughout history that are, you know, they have to be there in any serious collection, whatever terminology we put on that. I think that's one of them.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's one of them. Like that Hulk Hogan that I have in here, that there's just certain toys that are like, whatever age you are, they should have been around while you were growing up, whether they were in your house or somebody else's house.
Yeah.
They're that level. That Spider-Man Classics Series 1 is one of those, I think. Like that, like it's
Unbeatable.
yeah, like whatever we'll pull that thread further and turn it into a whole segment, but like it is a nexus figure,
dude,
that exists in all realities.
100%.
All right, that is our 5 figures that we would get if the whole entire collection was to disappear tomorrow. Hit us up at Mighty Champions. Let us know what would you do? Like, are you serious, Seba? What would you do if your whole collection disappeared? Get at us at Mighty Champions. Thank you very much for making us a part of your day, and we will see you next week. Peace.